Sixth grade, welcome to your first science lesson of the week. We're into chapter 9. We're going to be talking about the rocks. So last chapter we got started on studying our Earth, the plate tectonics. We looked at earthquakes and volcanoes from chapter 8 in December. The chapter starts out with this research scientist. She works for NASA. She's sent satellites up into space to see if they can detect earthquakes and plate movements, guys. And what it comes down to is they hope to someday in the future be able to give a monthly hazard level report that says, hey, there's potential for an earthquake to happen. In other words, can we predict earthquakes? No, we still can't. We know that from last chapter. We're not there. Can we look at fault movement? It's amazing. Look what they can do. They can detect tectonic plate movements as small as 1 millimeter per year. So we have very precise instruments, guys. It's just a course of challenge for us to be able to predict earthquakes, even this monthly hazard level. Can you imagine saying, hey guys, it's looking pretty bad? Okay, well, it's looking pretty bad. That doesn't really mean, should I move my house? What happens if it doesn't happen that month? Am I just going to live somewhere else for a month? So it's a tough call on what to do. Okay, guys, this chapter we're talking about rocks and minerals, and we'll see what this earth is made up of and how we use that. You can see how they kind of give us some goals. We're going to talk about what they are, how to identify them, how we make the different types of rocks, and then that's lesson 1. Lesson 2 will be how soil forms and the different types of soil. Okay. This is the chapter vocabulary of the word. We're going to talk about the sedimentary rocks, these beautiful stripes that we get in rocks, which is pretty cool and amazing. And then they just have pictures of the vocabulary words we'll talk about. Today we're going to start talking about our skill for today. You can see on over here we would need a microscope and some minerals. What it really comes down to, guys, is that you can see when I look at different crystals underneath a microscope, they look a little bit different, and that is going to be one of the things we're going to talk about coming up this week on how we tell minerals apart. Okay, today, guys, we get a very common skill, the compare and contrast. So we'll go through it pretty quickly here. It says, learning to find how things are alike and different can help you understand what you read. When you compare things, you tell how they're alike. When you contrast them, you tell how they're different. Okay, so you got 1 and 2 here, guys. When you compare, they're alike. When you contrast, they're different. What are our clue words? Sometimes writers use clue words such as also, both, like to show similarities. So you got your 3 words there. Clue words for differences are although, but, and however. So number 4 there. Remember to observe any pictures or diagrams. That'll help you to compare and contrast things. I'll continue to stress that. Lots of times we try to get just the information we want. We don't look at the pictures. We don't read the little paragraph underneath the picture. We go too far. We go too fast, and we miss some of those things. Okay, they'll give you an example here as we work our way through that. That'll give you the answers for 6, 7, and 8. It says when molten rock cools and hardens, new rock forms. If molten rock cools slowly, the new rock will have large crystals. Okay, number 6 in your notes. However, if molten rock cools quickly, there will not be time for large crystals to form. Okay, so guys, what would cause it to cool slowly? Molten rock that is bubbling out of Hawaii, cause out oozing. It's going to slowly, with air temperature, cool down. That's going to make it go slowly. Lava hits the ocean water. Instantly, it's going to cool it down because of the water. That's going to make it cool really quickly. So depending on if it's being air cooled or if it's being water cooled, we'll give it. Granite and basalt are both formed from molten rock. Okay, so that's number 7 in your notes, guys. Granite and basalt. Although granite cooled slowly and basalt cooled quickly. Okay, because of that, number 8, granite will have large crystals, basalt will have small crystals. So you can see how there are similarities and difference. Both are molten rock, what we'll call igneous rock as we go through the chapter. Okay, now your turn to try it. And so today we're going to talk about what's called fool's gold. Fool's gold is really pyrite, and we're going to see why it's called fool's gold. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to read this paragraph. Your job is working with this Venn diagram. Write down things that's only gold, write down things that's only pyrite, And then in the middle you write down things that both of them have it. So this would be comparing in here, how they're similar. This would be the contrasting on the side, how they're different. Pyrite, or fool's gold, has often been mistaken for real gold. Both of these minerals often have a yellow color. Ding, ding, ding. Although pyrite is likely to appear brassy yellow, and gold is more of a golden butter yellow. Like gold, pyrite has a beautiful metallic luster or shine. It's hard to understand how miners who saw the shiny gold flakes sparkling in a rock at first might think they'd struck gold. I should maybe switch that, like it is not hard. There you go. Now you got your extra credit up here. Mr. Bauer had to add the word not in because it's not hard to understand. In other words, I look at that and I say, ooh, it's shiny, it's gold, and really it's pyrite. Let's see how we can figure that out. However, a few tests would soon show them that they had actually found the more common mineral pyrite. So why do we call it fool's gold? Why is it not valuable? Because it's common, guys. Pyrite is more common. So one of the things that gives mineral its wealth is not its color. Gold shines, big deal. We have a lot of metals that shine. It's that it's rare. There's not much of it. Okay, that's why gold's valuable. A streak of gold on an unglazed ceramic tile leaves a golden yellow color. By contrast, a streak of pyrite is greenish black. We'll talk about streak coming up tomorrow, guys. What streak is I literally scratch it. And we always think, or you might think, that whatever color the rock is, when I scratch it, that's what color is going to leave behind. So when I scratch gold, it leaves behind a yellow golden color. But when I scratch pyrite, which looks gold, it actually leaves a dark greenish black color behind. So if I have an unglazed ceramic tile in my pocket, would be one way to tell the difference between gold and pyrite. Number 2, pyrite is a hard, brittle mineral, while gold is soft and malleable. So you got the two differences there, guys. This is what the word malleable means. This means that if you hit pyrite with a hammer, it would shatter. Well, you could hammer gold into a sheet. So gold is a little bit soft, so when I hit it, I can make it into a sheet. That's how we make the jewelry out of it, guys. Also, gold seldom occurs in crystal form, while pyrite often occurs in well-formed cubes or other crystal shapes. So if it looks like I got this nice little block, it's probably pyrite. If it looks like a jagged little rock, it's probably gold. I'm going to go back to this one for extra credit, guys. Gold is soft. Sometimes if you've ever seen old movies and they're panning for gold and they find this little gold, the first thing they do is they put it in their mouth and they bite it. And you're going, why are you biting gold? Because it's soft. So if I find a piece of gold and I put it in my mouth and I bite on it and it gives a little bit, in other words, my teeth can actually move into it, it's gold. If it doesn't, if it feels like I'm biting on a rock, then it's pyrite. So you can say up here, gold equals bite, or something to that thing. Write down if I bite it is one way to find out if it's gold or not. Okay, guys, you were filling in this chart. There's all kinds of similarities and differences. You probably get 4 or 5 for each one of these sections as we work through those things. But it's also a fun thing knowing the difference between fool's gold today. We'll talk more about gold as we go through that and how today we call a lot of things that are gold, which isn't really true gold. Have a great day.